I don't know why that's so funny. Just like it's like the simplest thing.
It is.
Ultimately, it's a difficult to remember name. I've never ever heard of this in my life.
You never heard of it?
No.
No. Never heard of it at all. Ever.
I'm very new to this. I'm just getting hip to this.
I'm not going to say
hip. I know you're not hip because you still can't remember the name. So how hip can you actually be?
I said I'm just getting
and
hip
they mentioned
That's not how that works. You either are or you aren't.
They mentioned the name of the city quite a bit in it. But anyway.
It probably just sounds like another word to me. Does that make sense? Eastwick. It's the way they say things. Eastwick. You know,
I mean, but you never heard. If you never heard it before, you think that would stand out. Like,
no, it'd be
that's
like
a weird name
over there.
Yeah, because that's how it kind of stuck out to me. Where it's like if you say witches, I'd be like, oh, the witches. I know that movie. It's like, no, Witches of Eastwick. I'd be like, what the fuck is Eastwick? That's
why
I haven't seen that.
Thrown off. That's why I'm thrown off because.
But it would think you'd be thrown off to the point where it's like, dang, that's a weird name.
Yeah, it'd be easier to remember.
Well, there's a lot of weird names in this, and there was a lot of not naming and then later naming.
Okay, fair enough.
We're here, obviously.
Okay, let me tell you this. It was confusing at first in the beginning. The Witches of Eastwick. Well, I honestly forgot what the theme of this month was. Like, I did. When we started watching this, it just seemed like some random.
Okay, well, let's talk about it.
From the 80s or something.
It actually does. It has that.
Yeah, no.
It really feels, especially like the beginning part of this movie, like Death Becomes Her. Where until it gets to what it gets to, you have no idea what this movie is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like
that's kind of
that's an 80s thing.
I was about to say that was kind of apropos to the 80s, you know.
Well, yeah, the 80s
have to
was
start
like,
out. I mean, everything, even like the Lost Boys, same thing.
That a really long lead up to vampires. Like, oh god, really?
I thought we're
hour into this movie,
like an 80s version of the Sisterhood of the Traveling Hands or something. That's what I thought it was gonna be.
Wow,
I've never seen that movie.
No,
well, it doesn't seem like a movie that would have attracted me, especially at the time that it came out.
Probably not. But it was a good movie.
I wasn't rushing to that.
I didn't think it. You know, I was like, "What is this?"
No, I had a crush on America Ferrera, but you know, I still didn't go see that movie.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah,
I don't blame him.
I was one of your crushes.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
You can't.
I mean, she's a cute girl.
Yeah.
Never saw an episode of Ugly Betty either. just so we're the. I just haven't.
Did either. And that was a big show.
You know, it was huge.
It was huge. It was really big for. It was really big. But I don't know.
I don't know either.
I didn't.
I don't know. It just never.
I'm gonna get you one of these days.
I think once again it's just one of those shows where it's like, that's not for me. Like I was just like, I'm not gonna enjoy
honestly,
this.
I think this is gonna be one that show. People of this the newer generation, aren't gonna watch it because
they will. They're gonna do it just like they did Friends.
No,
like where they were now that it's.
But a lot of Ugly Betty is kind of that early 2000 of its time.
But that's what I mean. It aired before streaming, so when something gets a hold of streaming, like Friends aired before streaming, and it was pop culture. It was like pop culturally relevant. Like you could get Central Perk shirts and all that other stuff. But most of those people had never seen Friends. Right. Then it hit streaming. Now everybody is seeing Friends. The same thing with The Office. Like a lot of people didn't see The Office while it was on.
Right.
Yeah.
Streaming really brought it back, and people were like, "Oh, this is that show that people are using memes on." Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those
Ugly
things.
Betty, I think a lot of the like
Give it
jokes
10
and
years.
things like that are outdated. You know,
So
what would
was
be
Friends.
inappropriate for?
Yeah.
But that's what I mean.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I was saying, like, give it 10 years.
That was early.
I don't see why
90s.
not. But yeah, the last episode was like post 9/11, like right after 9/11. It was really bad. Yeah, well, because they filmed Friends after 9/11 and didn't acknowledge 9/11 out like once, except for Joey wore the New York Fire Department T-shirt. But he's also really vain, so he could have just been like, everybody else is wearing these T-shirts. I'm gonna give me one. It's Friends. Friends sucks.
It doesn't. But anyway,
It doesn't. But it's not as good as The Living Single.
Okay, so back to Witches of Eastwick.
So if you haven't figured it out yet,
who's
the
the cast?
movie this week
Who's the cast in
was
this?
Witches of Eastwick, which had Jack Nicholson,
Yep.
Cher,
Yep.
Susan Sarandon,
Yep.
Oh,
and
that's
Michelle Pfeiffer. Big names. Big
Pretty big names.
They were big names. Michelle
Well, I was
Pfeiffer
gonna say,
might
was
not have
Michelle
been quite
Pfeiffer-
as big.
And obviously Cher for
Search-
different reasons.
Yeah, Sharon Sarandon had already. I think she already did Bull Durham at that point. I'm
Ooh.
trying to. Susan Sarandon.
I don't know that movie.
That was with Kevin Costner. It was,
Yeah, I
it
don't know
was a
that
big
movie. Oh, you lost me at
The
Kevin
baseball-
Costner. That guy's
baseball
boring
movie.
as hell.
Who's Kevin Costner?
He's got no
Wow.
personality
Let me look him up. Hold
whatsoever.
on. I heard the name. I've heard the name.
So there's Kevin Costner and there's Randy Quaid.
I knew you were going to say
Or
that.
is it Dennis
They
Quaid?
don't-
No, yeah.
It's
It's
Dennis
Ran-
Quaid.
it's
No,
Ran-
it's Dennis that
Yeah,
you
I
get
get-
them
I get
mixed
what you
up.
mean.
No,
Kevin Costner and Dennis
No,
Quaid.
Dennis
And they're
Quaid.
like the same person.
I
they
thought-
are not.
No, I thought.
Can't tell
You know
them
who I
apart.
thought was the same as Dennis Quaid? I thought is the same as what's his name? Ford. Harrison Ford.
That's insane that
I
you
got
even
them
say
mixed- I got
that
them
is the
mixed
most
up.
insane thing I've heard a person say.
Honestly,
No, Harrison Ford is Harrison Ford, and he can't be mixed up with anybody.
No.
He's kind
I
of,
think because I thought they were both the Indiana Jones role.
Yeah.
You
'Cause
thought Dennis Quaid was Indiana Jones?
he doesn't have the chops.
it did. It kind of looked like him
Wow.
for a
He
second.
doesn't have the chops.
Okay.
Weird. This is the level of non-observance.
No, that was okay. Look, I'm not gonna say it, but sometimes
That's what I'm saying when it
people
comes
look like other people.
to Kevin Costner and Dennis Quaid.
Sometimes, but they don't look alike. Get two pictures of them next to each other.
Man, look.
They do not look.
Every
alike.
time I see one of these niggas, I be like,
No, they don't. They don't.
I always go,
Yeah,
is that,
see?
whenever I see Dennis Quaid, I'm like, oh, it's Kevin Costner. And when I see Kevin Costner, I'm like, oh, Dennis Quaid. I can't tell them two apart. I can't.
Come on. I just looked at Dennis Quaid and Harrison Ford. They look more alike than him and Kevin Costner.
I don't know,
Oh, he
man.
look like
Maybe
an older version.
maybe it's just me.
Sort of.
Maybe it's just me.
I think you just are more versed in Harrison Ford. That's all that is.
All right, whatever.
Point is, none of them are in this movie, by the way. Not a single person.
Anyway,
You started talking about Bull Durham.
I had to know who
because
Kevin
Susan
Costner
Sarandon.
was.
Anyway, I was saying they were all big, pretty big stars at that time. I mean, Cher had already won a Best Supporting Actress for
Did she?
Moonstruck. Mhm.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Cher. Oh, and for Mask. Wait, that's what she won it for. Did she win it for both of them? I don't know.
I forgot
But
she
Cher
was in that.
doing big things. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do
have
you
you ever
believe
seen
in
Mask?
life after love? I'm
And-
kidding.
Have you ever seen Mask?
I need you to stop. I need you to stop. Don't ruin that song for me. All right.
I can see something.
Have you seen Mask?
What do you mean
Not
haven't
The
seen it?
Mask. No.
Okay, no.
Mask.
Then
Oh,
no.
that's a good movie.
I'm like, what are you
That's a
talking about?
good-
We just watched that.
I didn't like the movie.
Oh, well, what is it about?
An ugly kid.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
sad.
that's terrible. He had a disease in his face.
I never got that from that movie, so I apologize. But I never once got that. I thought he was just like ugly.
No,
I didn't know that
he
was the
dies
whole
at
point.
the end.
Oh, see,
Oh, snap! The kid with the big head.
yeah, I've
Yes,
never gotten through
yes.
those.
Oh, that's what that's called. Okay,
I
yeah,
never,
yeah,
I
have
have
seen that.
never gotten through that whole movie.
Eric Stoltz.
I never got through that whole movie.
He's like a really cool kid.
Yes.
How did he get his shirts on? No one's gonna ask the serious questions here. There's no way he got that shirt over that head and that
Hey.
collar wasn't all fucked up.
I'm sure
Just
there-
for that, I don't think
can't
you're going to see
remember.
that stairway after you pass.
That look,
You're not going to see the upward stairway.
no stairway denied.
You're not going to have the upwards
Wayne's
elevator.
World.
I cannot. Wow.
It is what it is.
Anyway,
It's not my fault that no one else is thinking about these things.
anyway,
Witches of Eastwick.
Witches of Eastwick. This was my pick, by the way.
Yeah.
I guess it would make sense.
Yes.
Well, I was trying to get out of the status quo. We always do stuff that is, especially for this kind of thing, because, like, what?
Nothing.
Y'all looking at me crazy. No, I mean, we, do the typical.
Yeah, you bet not. I hate you.
Sorry.
God, I hate you. Just continue, Mom. I need the distraction.
We need to. the typical, quote unquote scary movie or something we've seen and we know and love, but we just want to kind of see if it.
Well, we
holds
did that
up.
with 13 Ghosts.
Yeah, we did. So this is just a little departure.
I like it. Well, I like seeing things I haven't seen before.
I will say next October we are definitely doing those cheap horror movies that we saw on Amazon because those look amazing.
The one with the preacher. What
yeah,
is it?
Velocipaster. Yes, and Spaghetti Man.
Oh yeah, Bucket Man.
There's some gems, man. We have to get
just
to those.
Mad that people have really made these movies.
Yes,
Well,
and it's
look,
a thing.
if a studio is giving you money to make a movie, are you not going to make the movie?
I guess.
You are.
Honestly,
You're going to make the movie.
Was Rubber not
Worst
really
come,
entertaining?
I was gonna say, worst come to worst, you get a Rubber situation where it's a movie so bad it's good. Like it just doesn't matter.
You did not expect what you saw.
No,
And it was entertaining from start to
It
finish.
was entertaining. I will give you that.
So we get to this.
Stupidest.
They show this town. It looks like the Beetlejuice town. You said that.
A little. I thought it was the way they did the.
Man,
the
it does
The
look.
little made the
the
houses
shot.
look little.
It does look a
Yeah.
lot like the Beetlejuice town.
I mean,
and
at
we're
that
looking.
time.
We're looking at these ladies' lives individually. They all got some
Right.
pretty.
Yeah,
Whatever-ish
one
lives.
year sculptor.
She's
sure.
she's a sculptor. And
She's
she has
making
one daughter.
fertility statues.
Her name's Alex. Is
Yes,
Alex? in this
Alex.
movie.
Yes, and then there was
Alexandra.
yeah, but they called her Alex. And then there was Michelle Pfeiffer. Which
She got
was
20 kids.
Suki.
She has 6 girls.
Ugh.
Oh goodness gracious!
Did she have 6? I thought one of them was a boy.
No,
One
they're
of them-
all
I
girls.
thought there was like triplets in there. No?
They are. They're all girls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oof. Well, sorry.
And then Susan Sarandon, which was Jane.
Jane.
She was the teacher.
Because she's plain. You get
She
it?
was playing
she was
Jane.
playing Jane.
I think that she's weird.
And but she was getting divorced. Her divorce was being finalized. She didn't have no kids, and
Well, they didn't really go through anyone's day except for hers for the most part, where
Yeah.
she's teaching this class. I love this kid on the symbols though, because he's just like ready to go.
Yeah, he's like he's got
tired.
them symbols up.
He's ready. He knows exactly when he's supposed to crash them things.
And they're horrible.
They're terrible.
They are absolutely terrible.
They
and
are
then,
a school band.
and then they play.
No, they're not even a school band. It's like a class she teaches.
Yeah, band.
Because those are all like different ages.
Yeah.
So
It's just in that city, she probably just teaches.
Yeah, that's
a
what I
class.
think. That's what I think it is. I don't think it's a school thing. I think it's more of just like an after school thing, maybe.
She's
Probably.
the band teacher.
Well, she is a music teacher. She says that later in the
Yeah.
movie that she's lost her classes at some point, whatever. But
Yeah,
Yeah, but
and then
This
it
when the principal
shows
walks
when the
in.
is he a principal?
I think he is.
yeah.
Okay. Because they never say, but
No,
yeah, I
they
guess you were
don't.
just like supposed to
If
assume he
implied,
is.
that's her boss and her.
Yeah,
teacher's boss is
essentially.
usually the
He's a
principal.
weirdo.
And then he's all trying to talk about, oh, your divorce. When is it final? And she's like, today. Thanks for asking.
She keeps moving up, and he keeps moving up when
Yeah.
she moves up, and it's like I was uncomfortable for her. I was like,
Yeah, and then the
get back
kids,
up,
like,
dude.
The
Yeah.
kids are just sitting there
He was like,
okay.
maybe we can work something out. And then he inappropriately touches her, which is a fireable offense, but not in the 80s, I guess.
not as much.
The 80s were a different time.
Yeah, she would have to fight for it hardcore. It wouldn't have been a given.
Yeah.
And you'd have to have people to back you up.
Yeah. You need it. Well, yeah. No, it needs to be 30 more years.
Yeah. She just had to wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, like now.
And maybe have a cell phone camera. That would help.
Yeah, they didn't have
except
that
it was the
technology.
80s.
It's the 80s. Just something like a little pat on the butt. There you go, baby.
Yeah, that was the thing. See, we
Interesting.
didn't have cameras catching everything back then.
You need
I
cameras.
got a question. Have you ever experienced in the workplace things throughout your years of working as an adult?
Yes.
Not that kind of thing.
What?
I mean,
What?
what?
100%. I have.
Really?
Somebody tried to
It's
come on to you?
always different though, because when it's girls, no one cares. No one cares when like
Wait, like physical?
yeah.
or-
I had a girl like grab me.
What?
And I was like, I didn't want her to, but she did. And then I say something, and it's fine, because no one cares. No one cares. If I was sexually harassed in the workplace and I told somebody, they would literally be like, "Fuck out of here, and get back to work."
yeah,
Like, because nobody would care.
I'd be like, dude, just
No,
Especially if my boss was a dude, he'd be like, "Oh, you like to shut up." Like, you know what I mean? Like, dudes, this is so fucking stupid.
That is how people think about it. I didn't think. About
I'm not even allowed to be uncomfortable at work. Because they're like, man up. Like, it doesn't matter what I do. So, yeah, no, it's happened. It's happened. And I'm sure it's happened to more men more often than not. But we're not going to say anything. We can't. It's over.
Well, some have.
Some have.
Yeah.
And it's very, even like.
I'd be like, you little bitch. Just take it and like it.
See what I'm saying? There it is. There it is.
No, that's terrible.
Sorry.
No, and I can see where it would be worse, actually, because they know.
They can get away with more.
Yeah, and it would be big time for you if you ever came, like any kind of way towards a woman, even about that. It would, that's kind of a little catch-22.
Big catch-22.
But, so in the 80s, there was no go.
Non-existent justice when it came to sexual assaults.
And she's also a plain Jane, timid kind of character, so she clearly wouldn't have said anything anyway either.
But
and
that's what that was. That's how that would happen. And it's like, oh, this is my boss. I don't want to get, that whole thing.
You deal with it because it's a small town. What other job is she going to get? She want to work at the tool shop? What's she going to do?
Fisherman.
Because you get...
It's a New England town. Fisherman is on the board.
If you play the cello, that you can definitely...
I'm sure those skills transfer.
Okay.
Oh, she does play the strings.
See? She can string up a fishing rod. Yeah, fisherman, she'll be all right.
All right.
Okay.
That's a
She'll be
stretch,
okay.
but okay. So anyway.
What does Suki do? Do we ever find out
She
what...
works for the newspaper.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of a big deal. I forgot about that.
It kind of comes back up.
Yeah.
It is. My
We
bad.
didn't get that at first because they
My
wanted
bad.
to get across that she had all these damn kids.
She has a lot of kids.
Yeah,
and they're all extremely blonde, and it's scary.
Extremely blonde and extremely white.
Well, yeah, all of the above.
You know what's worse, though? It's like, blonde is one thing, but when you got blonde eyebrows, too, that shit creeps me right the fuck out.
You're really white.
That shit freaks me out.
That's like you are straight from Nazi Germany
were you
or
thinking-
something.
Now, that's Swedish right
You
there.
might-
Yeah, that's true.
You might be albino, possibly.
you are definitely from one of the
They're
neutral.
white albinos.
And then
And yeah,
you can barely
that makes
tell,
sense.
Probably.
No, it's the same thing because
Yeah,
they get
'cause everything
the
is-
white,
yeah.
red eye shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, red eyes.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, true.
Yeah. So now comes the boring. Well, first
It is kind of boring to start out with.
the chick is singing. She's singing the not the national
America
anthem.
Beautiful.
America the Beautiful.
Although that should be the national anthem. It sounds more like a national anthem for your country. America the Beautiful. It's right there in the song, in the title. I would say it.
Oh,
I
because
don't
it's
know.
saying
What is that?
America,
Is that just a song about America?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just not like a national.
It's our
Well,
anthem.
it's not the national anthem. It is there's another word
Secondary
for
anthem? Or?
And that's just a
No,
song.
It's just a
I think it's just a song.
It's
Weird.
Yeah, somebody was like, we need we need a song about America.
I said, make a love song. Oh, I love America. God, I love America.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how that came about, but that is.
Yeah.
That's probably exactly how it came about.
It should be the national anthem, though. I just think
Some crazy nationalist. God, I love America. I'm gonna write a song about it.
Star Spangled Banner is trash.
How's that go again? Oh, yeah, there we go.
There. You got it. You got it. It's locked in there now.
yeah. So yeah, she sings that, I guess supposedly beautifully, whatever.
That shit was trash.
It was.
And then the principal dude, I'm guessing, goes up to make a speech.
And just an incredibly long one. He's
and
such
he's
a
just
narcissist.
saying,
He
just
thinks
yeah,
everybody
oh my
wants to hear him talk.
gosh.
But he just keeps going.
But then they're like, they don't tell you how much time has passed, but there is
But
like
it
a
looks
fade
like-
swipe,
yeah.
where it's like, damn, how long has this motherfucker been talking
Yeah, you
for?
see everybody in
They're
their
falling
chairs,
asleep and
And
shit.
then Alex, Suki, and Jane.
Oh yeah,
they're
this
all.
is an assembly and they're outside.
They're,
so.
yes, like
The whole
they're-
town,
the
apparently.
whole town pretty much is out there, and then they're just looking like they're bored to death. And at one point, they all kind of look up like they're thinking something, and at a certain point, they show that, and then all of a sudden, this hardcore wind starts. And then this guy is still
Yeah, he's like, my
he's
pages,
still
but-
going.
And then
then the
surface-
rain starts.
Yeah,
While the wind's blowing and it's starting to rain. And
the
things
rain
like
comes
that.
and he's still just like, nope, these people want to hear this speech. It
And
is
finally,
very
the
important.
first people to get up were a few kids. They're
Hell
like,
yeah,
hell
kids.
nah.
You know, kids don't play. They be like, I'm not sitting here for this.
Yeah, and then everybody starts running for
been up.
cover and all that stuff, and that was it. And it was just pouring. And then, we fast forward when they meet together on their Thursday night get together. Alex, Suki, and Jane.
Yeah.
And they start talking about, how it was kind of weird. He's like, I was just thinking, I wish, I just wanted it to be over, and I just wish anything would happen. And stuff. And then like, yeah, I was thinking that too. And it was something, it was like, they were thinking like the same thought. And then they were just like looking like, oh, that's weird.
And then Suki, because she's the weird one, is like, whoa, guys, we all thought it, and then it happened. And they're like, and Alex is just like, nah. I think that you might be crazy.
just possibly.
He was like, yeah.
Moving on.
Anyway, and then they drinking their little martinis and whatever the heck, and eating crazy looking white people snacks and
what was that?
All I saw was cracker and cheese whiz and a bunch of candy and just
get your cheese whiz, boy.
Cheese whiz.
Interesting.
Well, nasty. And then they start talking about,
dudes. They're talking about their dudes. And
that there's no men in
they're all victims.
Eastwick.
Yeah, like, okay, so.
Well, because they know all the dudes.
So, well, not just that, but Alex, her husband died, so she's a widower.
He did.
A widower.
She's the widow because
she's
she's
a widow.
He would be a widower,
right?
If she passed. Okay.
And then Suki, with the kids, he left because he couldn't deal with all the kids that he helped her make. And then Jane just got divorced, just because, they got divorced. Happens. And so they're all manless.
And also they mentioned that she can't have children.
And she's
Suki has a bunch. Alex has one. Yeah. And she can't have any. Right. And then she got divorced. Alex's husband's dead, and hers abandoned her. She's blonde. One's a brunette, one's a redhead. This is the inner workings for a TV show if I ever seen one.
They did that purposely.
One's a blonde, one's a brunette, and the other's a redhead. See what wacky adventures they get into this fall.
Well, yeah,
this is it.
That's kind of
So they're talking about like what the perfect guy would be. They're talking about he doesn't have to be all extra pretty
but they can't agree. That's the thing.
Yeah. They all have different things to say, different variations of different things.
What's crazy though?
One, handsome, but not, and then the other one's like, but not too handsome.
Yeah.
And they're just going through naming all kinds of stuff, all the way down to the anatomy.
Yeah, and, Suki wants some ginormous.
Yeah,
it's like, first off, calm the fuck down. That's not how human anatomy works. Secondly, gonna rearrange your whole insides. You need a hysterectomy and some shit.
Gross.
And then Susan Sarandon's talking about, well, I like them small, and he's like, all right, what if we just meet in the middle somewhere?
She's like, I'm kind of in between.
I
or
don't
whatever.
really.
And then
as they're talking about this perfect guy, you see this car. It cuts to this car driving in the rain.
Fancy Rolls Royce.
Yeah,
coming into town.
Pop locking.
Yeah,
Mercedes.
And so as they're talking, and then boom, at the end, this car pulls up somewhere. Looks like a mansion. Some like a big,
AKA castle.
Yeah, kind of castle-like mansion. And then at this point, now we get to the point. It's the next day, and Alex is at this shop. I think where she sells her sculptures.
No, that didn't happen yet.
No, okay.
No,
we are kind of there because they manifest this man, and then immediately she goes. Is it her first? Somebody else. I think we're at Suki's office first.
Yes, I think that's where we went first. Remember?
Yeah, we're at Suki's office first.
Yeah,
and she's talking about she had just did an interview, I guess.
No, she was saying she was gonna. They hadn't even.
Oh yeah, she was going to do the interview.
She was just saying, and what's it called? It was walking in. Felicia.
She was like, what's their name? What's
Felicia
his name?
and what was the guy's name?
Felicia and Clyde.
Clyde. She's like, who's that? Felicia and Clyde.
No, she said that before they even walked in.
Before they walked in, and then she was like, Then they were walking in, but
before that, they asked about the dude she was going.
Well, yeah, she was saying about the interview because he bought the house.
Just like, I knew it, but I forgot, and she's like, okay, I forgot the name.
She was like, that's the weirdest thing. I'm really good with names, and I forgot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that comes up.
It's something with the D.
Oh, yeah. They hadn't noticed anything until they went to, Jane, the concert.
Yeah, well, because Alex, she said somebody bought this sculptor's.
Right.
And then she was like, what's the name? She was like,
she's like, I know. She's like, I know it. I know I wrote it down. I don't know why. I remember names. And everybody who was like trying to remember it couldn't remember his name. Mm-hmm. And then that's right. They didn't know who he was. That's right. And Suki was saying they were just talking about the guy who bought the
house.
The what house?
I didn't write it down.
I did. I wrote it down.
They called it the
big ass house.
Hold on. I have it somewhere.
You don't. It's taking you too long.
Oh my gosh.
You ain't got it.
Oh shoot. Maybe
I thought I did.
I thought I did too.
Well, it's the house. It's a big ass house.
It's the
Lennox?
house.
No.
Lennox, yeah.
Was it the Lennox house?
Yeah, the Lennox house.
Yeah. And then,
Nice.
and everybody, that was a whole thing. And what's her name?
Glad your priorities are straight.
And that's when what's her name?
Yeah.
Felicia started talking about it. And she was upset, and
she was like, you don't feel it? There's evil afoot.
She's like what about the, what was the kind of birds? What about the
something
owls,
stormy something snowy egrets?
Yeah,
egrets,
snowy egrets.
Egrets.
It's like okay.
Yeah. And he was like, "What? Wait, what?" He's like, "I didn't even know we had those."
She started tripping early on. I mean, as
she
soon
could
as
feel
she
the
knew,
evil.
Yeah, she for whatever reason she was able to
sound
feel
psycho. She could have raised suspicion
because that's how it has to work. No matter what, you have never seen a movie where there's aliens, zombies, a monster, where the person who tells everybody first sounds normal.
they have to be rather lunatic.
Like think about it. Think about like in the first Hocus Pocus when they go to the Halloween party. He's like, "Hey everybody, there's real witches out there." The guy's like, "All right, get the fuck off the stage." Like it's Halloween. There's real witches everywhere, buddy.
What you do is you say it quietly to one person, like, "There's real witches." No,
it's still not gonna work. It still sounds great. There's no way to say that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, guys! I just saw zombies. Like, oh yeah, okay, this fucking guy right here.
That's
and then
so
the zombies
funny.
come and kill you.
I actually did know a guy. We could just walk into a grocery store and he'll be like, he'll just turn real quick and be like, "Don't look now, but I think they're watching us."
Well, that's like because you had just mentioned it in the Lost Boys. The person who tells them about vampires is the grandpa, but because he's old, they're just like,
they think he's old and senile. Yeah,
he's like, "Hey, you guys, you kids, be careful out there on that pier. There's some fucking vampires out there." And they're like, "Shut up, grandpa. You don't know what you're talking about."
Pretty much.
It's just like, all right. Well, fuck you too, kids.
I would have done that movie if I could have handled it, but
honestly, it holds up. It holds up so much better though now, especially saxophone guy. That guy's amazing.
Saxophone guy.
You haven't seen it, huh?
No.
We're gonna watch it this weekend or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
But so anyway, so they go to the concert. Where Janie is playing with I don't know, was it a quartet? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a quartet.
No.
It's four.
Before that, you missed the part where Alex goes to the shop where she sells her little sculptures.
No, that's what we were talking about.
We did that. We talked about that. You weren't paying attention.
Wow.
I was paying attention.
No,
okay.
Absolutely weren't.
It's a little concert.
So we're at the concert, and Janie and her fellow quartetmen.
Quartetians?
I don't know. They're playing their little concert, and then you all of a sudden start hearing this really deep, growly, snory, hardcore.
I'd be out.
That's scary.
Because it wasn't like it starts off with the snoring, but then you hear like the the growls and stuff.
Yeah, this ain't no normal snore.
All right.
Yeah. And
it's weird at the end of it when everybody starts applauding. That wakes him up and he's like,
he falls out the chair.
Oh yeah, he falls out that chair first,
and then he gets up clapping, like giving her a standing ovation and bravoing and all that stuff.
No, brava.
Oh,
it's no bra. He's bravaing all over this place. I don't know what the difference here is because I don't speak any of the languages, but he does it. He definitely bravas.
Yeah, he does all that extra.
But you know what I love about Jack Nicholson is everything he's ever done is over the top. There's not a subtle Jack Nicholson performance, but he is so fucking good at all of it.
No, there is.
What is
it? As good as it gets.
Man.
But his subtle is over the top.
That's a romantic comedy. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Oh no, you will. No, I'm telling you, you will love it.
It's his face.
You will love it.
I can't do it.
It's his face.
You have to do it.
I didn't watch the bucket list for this.
I'm gonna make you watch it.
You can't make me watch nothing.
You need to watch it. You made me watch something. Yes, I got one on my books because I watched that dang 13 Ghosts.
First off, I didn't pick that. That was Jonna. So don't be trying to get back at me.
You wouldn't let me get out of it anyway.
Well, yeah, these are the rules, Mom.
That's not your job.
So you owe me.
Yeah.
You owe me to watch something.
Okay. Well, when we get to it, when we figure out what we're gonna do, we'll figure that shit out. Get off my back.
I'm gonna get that in there anyway.
How long is that movie?
It's not extra long or anything.
It just better not be boring.
Does he say the words "as good as it gets" in the movie?
No.
I'm almost certain he does.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
I'm telling you, baby, this is as good as it gets.
Nah. Oh no, not that. Not at all. Not at all.
I love when movies say that.
It was a good movie. But anyway, back to
when they're walking out of the auditorium.
Oh, no, everybody's talking about him, and nobody can still remember his name.
Yeah,
like literally everybody.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they're all like, "Oh yeah, I heard such and such," or "He was over here," and "Oh, he just bought the house," and "I heard he does this for a living," and all this other stuff. Then what's his name? And then he's like, "I can't remember, something with the D," and then slowly everybody. I think it's.
Somebody gives a card, and they're like, Daryl. It was because it was like, and it's Von something or whatever.
Horn.
And then it was like Daryl Von Horn.
Was it not Von Horn?
Yeah.
Oh no! Why you were shaking your head? No, like I was wrong. I was like, I know it was Von something.
Yeah, it was Von Horn.
And I tried to
make sense.
I tried to look it up to see if that was like an anagram for something, and it's not. It's just a bad name.
It just makes sense why they.
No, it's just a bad name. Like. Usually when you have like characters who represent like the devil or something like that, the name they choose is like an anagram or some sort.
Well, I literally didn't understand at this point.
Okay, well, Jonna, he's the devil.
I'm saying, like, at this point in the movie,
I had to look it up too because I was like, is he supposed to be the devil? And then they were like, yes, he is supposed to be the devil. I was like, okay, cool.
That didn't dawn on me until he started doing that.
Could have been
stuff.
a demon. He didn't have to be the devil.
Yeah, because if so, he's weak sauce.
He's weak as fuck.
Okay.
This is the worst devil in history.
Anyway, so after that, Alex takes a bike ride towards his castle, and then Daryl walks up as she's staring at the castle or whatever, and he talks to her, and he invites her to lunch at his mansion.
Well, yeah, because she's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm looking for snow egrets, but I wouldn't know one if I pissed on one.
Yeah.
And then he just like, and right after that, he's like, so how about lunch? And she's like, don't you think it's too early for that? He was like, what, lunch?
Yeah.
And then they have lunch, and it's too much. It's too much lunch.
Yeah.
It's fucking fish and lobster and
it's
little
kind of
white.
I like seafood. Awesome.
I don't know.
Certainly.
I'm not eating no fish that still looks fishy.
If you were a fish lover, yeah, you would.
No,
but I'm not.
No,
So
I don't want to see stuff that looks like it looks. You want to just
like
eat a cow?
I'd bite it. I would probably bite into a cow.
Wow.
No, it's not. It's just been outside all day.
Ew.
In its own shit. Because that's what cows do.
Ew.
Yeah, I know.
Or
I've seen it. I've driven through Corona. Okay.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they have lunch. Lurch is his servant
guy.
His butler, basically.
Yeah, I guess.
So he talks about things like death, desertion, and divorce, which is exactly the situation of these three ladies. Jane, Suki, and Alex.
And it is kind of amazing because every conversation he gets, he finds a way to make it specific about the three of them, never just the one.
Yeah.
Because he does say that. He was like death, desertion, divorce, and all three of them are going through that. He also mentions at one point, like, you know, some women have a lot of kids, some women don't have a lot of kids, some women can't have any.
Yeah.
He does that where it's like it's specific to them because which is like from the beginning you kind of know that he's looking for them.
Yeah, no, specifically.
Yeah,
and guess
he even tells her he was like, I'm somewhere in the middle myself when he's talking about his junk.
Right,
like because that's what she said.
That's what she said. Yeah, no. That's what she said.
So he tries to bed her, and she starts to reject him, and she even roasts him.
She does. This is a pretty bad roast. Like if this was anybody else, it probably would have hurt a lot.
Off. She's saying da 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 da, and
She's
plus
like,
you stink.
She's like, you are unattractive. You're this. You're that. And then she said, you smell. And he was like, it looked like it hurt him for a minute. He was like,
so you're on the top, I'm on the bottom.
Yeah, she was like, you just don't get it. And then he broke her down.
Yeah, he
just
basically uses his words.
Yeah, he just told her whole life and was just like, you are tired of your mundane, monotonous, do the same shit every single day kind of life.
Yeah.
And that's just who you are. Guess what? Your life sucks. And he straight up told her, he's like, your life sucks. You suck. But it doesn't have to. And then,
yeah. So there was that.
Yeah. And then they boogity boogity boop.
Boogity boogity boop. That's what we're calling it.
All that.
Your child.
And then
Oh, wait, because we did miss something, and it is very important. When everybody starts remembering his name after that music thing, Felicia falls down some stairs.
Oh yes, yes. Oh my god,
Suki's pearls just snap off, and she trips on them, and she falls down some stairs.
She does like a cartoon, like woo woo woo.
She does. She definitely slips on some marbles.
And then that's when she falls.
She's
down
like,
the stairs.
I think I broke my leg. How about that?
I think I broke my leg.
That shit was gross.
Yeah, it's creepy as heck.
So I just wanted to remember, we did forget that it is important.
So that's why we come to this part where Felicia is in the hospital and her husband's there feeding her. Although it's just her legs that's broken.
That's what I said. I was like, "Yo, her hands ain't broke. She better get the life."
She just placed them on.
And this is this is a trope that I've seen mostly like in '80s and like early '90s movies, where it's like you're this mean, aggressive woman and this like timid, yes dear kind of man. It's like, I hate it.
Yeah, that was
because it's just like
him.
You feel bad, you know what I mean? Like you feel bad. I feel bad the same way like when they do the movie where it's like the abusive ass man and then like the overly timid girlfriend. It was like I feel bad. You're both getting the raw end of the deal here.
Yeah. No. But in this situation, she's suddenly acting very, very crazy. She was acting a little crazy at first, but I don't think he noticed much.
Yeah, just
he's been ignoring her clearly.
Because he assumed that it started after the fall.
Which she did.
She does tell him about.
It started before when she mentioned she felt something weird going on in egrets.
Well, yeah, because she did the egrets.
That's true. Egrets. But yeah.
He's in there feeding her.
He's trying to tell her about the evil. She's like, I can feel it. It's in my pit.
I feel it. It's getting inside of me. And then she said something about something coming closer and closer. And at that time, Suki was coming with some flowers to bring to her. And because Suki works for them. Or the husband, at least. Well, I guess she owns it. And
does she? Is that what it is? Okay. That makes sense. Because he says something like that later, but I didn't put the two together.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, cool beans.
So, she's saying it's getting closer and closer, and then Suki peeks in the door, and she loses it and starts screaming and all kind of stuff.
So it's not hard to see why no one would believe her.
When I was watching this,
she's crazy.
When I was watching this movie, I immediately was like, fairy godparents.
She sees, and then now we get to Jane meets Daryl. He brings her a violin of some sort,
a cello.
No, he is a smaller one, so I thought it was a violin.
Yeah. Well, no, she was practicing the cello at this
before.
point.
Yeah, she cuts herself and then she drinks her own blood like crazy people do.
That all people in movies do that. It's like
they be like,
people don't do that in real life, do they?
Like, why do people?
And if you do, that's weird.
Yes,
it's weirder because she cut it. Look, she looks at it.
I've seen people do it.
That looks like a good one.
That's weird.
I've seen people do it too, and it's gross.
It's like, it's my own blood.
People.
But the first thing I do is I'd be like, "Where's the sink?" Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want that blood. It just hit the air. Now it's contaminated, and it goes back in you, and now it's contaminating the rest of your blood.
I don't understand it.
Gross.
I don't think like that.
Look, that's exactly what happens. I'm just saying. Scientifically, it makes sense to me.
You went somewhere crazy with that one.
We err on the side of caution. That's
look,
all
exactly. There's a reason I'm still alive.
So after that, then Daryl knocks on the door, and Jane's all nervous and stuff like that.
This one's annoying, though. I don't like this meeting.
Yeah, it was kind of stupid.
Yeah, it was.
Jane's all nervous, pouring tea and stuff like that.
She pours tea out of the cup into the ball. He did nothing. She's nervous for no reason at this point, but they keep letting this nigga in.
Yeah. Don't
Like
even
they just
know
let
him.
him come in and just do stuff.
Tempted by the
Right?
devil.
For at least with Alex, she went to him. That's different.
She was
right?
tempted by the devil.
No, what I mean, but she went there to go check it out anyway. So she stepped to him, whereas Daryl came to Jane's house and she was like, yeah, come in, make yourself comfortable.
Yeah.
I'll give you everything you need.
I know, that's
like,
weird how
it's
open
so
they were.
weird. Like, I'd be
Yeah,
like,
that's real
I'm
weird.
like, what do you
They were
want though?
tempted by
Nigga?
the devil. That's how easily the devil seems really sweet, and then you
Yeah.
just let
I
him
don't know.
in, and then he just
Either
fucks
way,
shit up.
this nigga and his ponytail got to stay the fuck outside.
I know that tiny little 1-inch ponytail sticking out of his
But
head.
he comes in and he's telling her, he basically doesn't say, he negs
Yeah.
her, where he's just like, you know, hey, you're pretty good, but you also suck.
Yeah.
And when they talk, she talks about the history of the house where they were witches lived and they were burned and stuff.
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
And so that kind of brings something up. I was just like, this is when I finally started understanding where this movie was going.
Which
Yeah, because I was totally confused. I'm like, what is up with this? I didn't know what
we
was
call
going
that
on.
the 1600s divorce. Or would it be the 1800s?
I don't think 16.
No, because America wasn't settled till 1776.
It was like 1600.
Yeah, but that's
So then
I see.
it had to have been maybe 1800s.
Oh, okay.
Oh
I
yeah,
see
like
what
colony.
So an 1800 or at least a 1700s divorce. She's a
Something
witch.
sort of like
Yep. I got rid of the old ball and chain today.
Daryl starts playing the violin and talks trash about her skills.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, he was telling her she
Makes
was
her
trash.
feel all insecure about
He
how
was like,
she plays.
because he basically told her she plays with no passion. She's
Yeah.
all technical
It's like,
ability and all
let
that
go.
other stuff.
You need to let go.
That's what he told Alex too about her sculptures. Like they need to be bigger. Let go.
Yeah. And then he when he opens her legs, you didn't know what's gonna happen. He puts a cello.
See,
He puts
and this
the
is
cello right
this
there.
is sad to say, but it's not hard to see why she gets treated the way she does at her workplace. Because she just let this nigga open her legs, and her first initial thing wasn't to protest or even try to close her legs back. She just let this nigga do whatever he wanted.
See? You let
And
the
I'm just
devil
like-
come in.
She also probably let that dude at her job come in. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's
She
one of
doesn't
his
seem.
workers.
She just doesn't seem like she's putting up much of a fight in that fucking Amish dress.
I know. She's
Yeah,
the only one that changes
Yeah.
her look in the movie, huh?
yeah, drastically. But that's the thing. She was the most,
Susceptible,
but I mean the most. What is it?
reserved.
Yeah.
Well, I think she's also the most susceptible to it because when you think about like the three of them, what the two of like Cher and Alex
Alex
and
and
Suki, what they want, they're very clear about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're not in any confusion about what it is they want out of life in general.
She was
period.
more like, okay, this is my life. So
She's like, she's reserved to,
Yeah.
this is it, I guess. This is as good as it gets.
yeah, pretty much.
You know, and then of course the whole her not being able to have kids thing is probably
Yeah.
something that weighs on her heavy. So she probably just doesn't put herself out there. You know, because
And basically, didn't they say that's kind of
yeah.
why her husband left? Because
why he got divorced was one of the reasons. Yeah.
yeah.
That really happens. you
Yeah,
know?
no, and I can see that how like as a woman, if that does happen, especially if
It
that
can
happens to you,
make your worth.
you wouldn't want to put yourself
Yeah.
out there again because now you're trusting that a man is okay with that, which they might
Right.
say they are at first,
Right.
But everything, people change, people want different things later on. You know, it's different.
I don't know.
It is what it is.
I don't know. That's trash
I'd be
to
fine
me.
with that. I don't want another kid.
That's trash to me, though. If you tell somebody you love them or whatever, and you married them, and then you find out they can't have kids, and
I
then
don't
all of
think
sudden
there
you
was a
stop
find
loving
out
them.
thing. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. I
think that it's
I
like,
think he
in the
knew,
beginning it seemed
Yeah.
okay.
and he just changed his mind. Like
Yeah.
later on down the line, he was
dick.
like, "It happens though." Like, and that's why I think those things are
that's
more
why I would-
important
Yeah.
than people kind of let on. Like,
Yeah.
it's easy to be like, "Oh, I can't have kids," and then you're like, "Oh, that's fine." You're in a dating stage, and you get farther.
like
but
what's her name with the
yeah.
wrestler.
The
wrestler.
Oh, you talking about John Cena and
Yeah.
and
Oh.
whatever the Bella girl's name
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
One of
yeah,
them.
yeah. Nikki.
Yeah, because she wanted kids. He was like, nah.
Well, she was saying that she was kind of like, oh no, I'm fine.
Yeah, she said that, but then she really wasn't.
She really wasn't.
She loved him,
but she really wasn't.
But she really wasn't okay.
Yeah,
well,
that's
I
the
know,
thing.
but she was willing to consider giving something up for him.
She did consider it.
She did.
But when she realized he wasn't willing to give anything up at all,
right.
I think that's when she got tired.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, because when it comes down to it, that's how that works, though.
Yeah.
One person wants something, the other person doesn't.
Yeah.
It usually, in that instance, you can't, if you have kids with somebody who doesn't want to have kids, that's worse than the person that you want to be with not wanting to have your kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can understand, Jane in this situation, why she is kind of just like reserved to her fate.
Yeah, exactly. And
Forever
then,
alone.
all of a sudden, he helps her let go in terms of her celloing.
Yeah, and then they light something ends up on fire. What is it with white people in movies?
Cello.
Why does that, like, whatever they do, like passion love making in movies, it's just a lot of knocking shit around.
I don't know.
Like, because I'd be
annoying.
Because that's what I was gonna say.
Don't make a mess in my house.
I would be like hella upset, but like, stop, that's gonna fall. Like, oh, see, that is a glass vase. I need you to chill.
If I just move something
Do you
to
not
the
even
left,
see that those candles are lit right there? You're gonna knock it on. This whole house is gonna burn up.
If I move something to the left, I'm gonna be like, oh, sorry, let me.
It's so irritating. It's always so irritating to me because I'd be like,
yeah, I don't get that either. It's like that's supposed to make it seem like, oh, it's really something. And then so then Alex decides she's going to take Suki to meet him because Suki is the only one who didn't get to meet him yet because she didn't have that interview yet.
But it's weird. It's weird. It gives me Swinger vibes once again.
I think she wanted to take him to meet him because she's like, oh, because at this point she doesn't know that him and Janie, did whatever.
No, but she knows.
It's just her.
But she knows that she did, and she tells Suki all about it. And then she was like, and I can't wait for you to meet him.
Because he seems interesting.
It gives me Swinger vibes.
No,
I don't know, man.
If I had a dude that's interesting and then, I'd want...
Not like that, though. I just met him.
Oh, yeah. Nah.
All we did was have sex that one time. Like, it gives me... It's weird. It's almost like passing it off to the homie. Like, she's like, yo, you I'm just saying, you gotta experience this. Because that's what it feels like. And it's kind of weird.
And then they get
Actually,
there.
I think this is a... before it became a thing, like nowadays, is like kind of pro...
polyamory.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a thing then.
Yeah,
but I'm saying like
now
just the internet.
No, I was about to say
just the internet.
It's the internet.
No, but I'm saying that it's more open these days.
Swinging and all that stuff was a thing. That's what I'm saying.
No, I know it was a thing. I'm not saying that.
But
no, it was open. It's just the internet.
It's just the internet.
I know, but I'm saying like more people. It's like mainstream. Before it was
because of the internet.
It only seems that way because it was.
No, I know. I've heard movies and stuff like that, and I've seen things and I've heard about things. But I'm saying like now it's like. How everything's like, I'm going to try that now. Like, everybody's in that.
Everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's in it.
Yeah.
It's not like.
People force themselves to be open
people.
and stuff now. It's just like they feel stupid if they're not kind of thing.
And it wasn't it's not like a very, very open.
Nobody stands on anything. It's like, I ain't doing that shit. No. Oh, well, everybody's doing it, so it must be a good thing. Yeah, I'm in.
I don't know if the situation was right. I'm in.
See what I'm saying? No. Anyway.
Okay, so
then they get over there, Suki and Alex, and what do you know?
Jane is there.
There's Jane just
looking like someone's
like
80s
harlot.
trophies wife.
Yeah.
AKA harlot. But
can't all be harlots, Mom.
And she's over there.
She looked like the wife in the Brady Bunch movie, the other dude's wife.
Oh, the neighbor?
Yeah. That's who she looked
Jezebel.
Yeah. And she was just wearing, she had on the
she was like,
swimming
hey,
suit.
kids, what are you doing here? And they're like, I was invited.
She's all extra
she was like, well, I was
fancy.
invited.
She's like,
and now they're enemies.
Give me the fruit. Pass me the fruit. And being all extra.
Yeah, they're being weird.
Pretentious. And then they play tennis suddenly.
And this is angry tennis for a little while.
Yeah.
They're trying to beat the shit out of each other with this ball. And then it becomes magic tennis.
Yeah.
And this shit
how comfortably they caught on to everything.
Right?
going on.
It was the ball's in the air, and Jane's like, it's not coming down. I don't know what you guys want me to do. It's just stuck up there, and then it comes down, and then it stops right there, and they're just like, okay, I guess I'll hit it. And it's just, and they're all just so comfortable. You're right.
Quickly.
It's creepy because I'd have been like,
but see,
what was in those drinks?
Okay, but see, here's the thing. Okay, you already knew that Suki was kind of out there anyway.
Her I understand. It's the other two I'm worried
Cher,
about.
though, was open. The only one, and she got turned out. So it was basically, So she was
wore her
like,
hair out now. She used to wear ponytails, like some
she
kind of librarian.
she should definitely put that ponytail back in.
Why?
That hair is
I love her hair.
It's everywhere, and it just doesn't. It looks.
I love that look.
It looks stupid in that visor too. It looked really stupid in that visor.
It's a look. I like it.
well, this is the swimming suit, and
yeah, I mean,
it was the whole
the no body having ass.
no booty.
White guys love that. They'd be like, "What a nice ass." I'd be like.
I hate it when they show that in movie and be like a little booty.
I'd be like, "Where? You're right. No, it's real good, buddy. Yeah. Whew, your standards are low."
Yeah, that's not their. They like boobs.
I mean, so do I. But even then, because you'll hear white dudes like, "Oh, those are big titties," and they be like average. But that's like they don't have any real standards for what they think is extravagant.
I think the standards started with when it came to skinny girls is like models and stuff like that.
And that's girls because they don't have anybody.
Well, that was supposed to be the it kind of girl, and so that's how men just visualize what the it girl
and then
was like.
Naomi Campbell showed up and fucked all that up.
Yeah, had some booty, and Tyra, they both had some booty, and that did.
Tyra ain't got no booty.
Yeah, she does.
Tyra ain't got no booty.
She ain't got booty. Just because you don't like it, she got booty.
She ain't got no booty.
She does. She
ain't got no booty.
Anyways, this tennis game gets weirder and weirder because Jane figured out how to stop the ball when they were playing. She was like, "Stop!" And then
that was Suki.
Oh, that's what I said.
Yeah,
right?
You said Jane.
Okay, Suki. She's like, "Stop!"
And then the ball stops.
The ball stops, and then all of a sudden they start playing slow tennis and they're bouncing it with their butt and stuff and being all fancy.
There were no butts in this movie.
There was no transition of like, whoa, what? Whoa,
yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, you got to give me that.
They were way accepting of all that was happening.
Like they were all on the same LSD trip or what? Like, because it's just too much. Like I would have, at the bare minimum, one of them would be like, the fuck is going on here?
I think
and then you could have had Suki be like, just go with it. Like that's a different thing. But none of them questioned it. She was like, the ball's not coming down. I'm like, that's not normal.
Like physics says the ball should be coming down.
It should definitely be coming down.
It's gravity. It's supposed to
we
happen.
studied this in high school. This doesn't make sense.
This is odd.
We got to get the fuck up out of here because our host just acting like this shit isn't happening.
They stayed and they enjoyed it and. Now cut to indoor pool he has. Pretty freaking awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Well, because don't they make it rain? Isn't that what happens? Or am I tripping about that?
I feel like
because it rain. I think that's why they go inside, right? Because it starts raining or something. I don't remember. I'm lost.
No, I think they just switched over there.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, so he gets alone with Suki. They're in the pool, and then bloop bloop bloop. They do all that stuff, and then
well, then this is a different one because even then, like how he told Alex about herself. And then he tells Jane about herself.
And this is the part
Suki tells him about the world and is like, fuck you, this world is what it is. I'm just with it.
He didn't even have to convince.
She was like, I'm fertile as fuck. I know how this world works. I got 6 kids. You think I give a shit?
Yeah, she didn't need convincing.
She's like, she's like, I get pregnant real easy.
He was like, word.
What'd she say? I could.
She said I could smile and get prayer or something like that.
Yeah, she said like, I can use your toothbrush or eat a spoon after.
Oh yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, she's Jesus.
Yeah.
That's the one I don't want.
Everyone's having a blast at his house. Well, at this point,
they're having because now we're getting what is it like the montage? We're having this weird balloon party.
Oh yeah, with the kids and all.
Yeah, suddenly the kids here come balloon party, which is honestly
this movie does a bad
awesome.
job of telling me how much time has passed. Once again,
tell you what,
how much time has passed?
I would guess a week.
I think more.
I think less.
You think less?
I think this is happening on a whirlwind.
You guys just want to disagree with me. That's what
no. I just think they're
I'll
easily, it's like a whirlwind romance.
The only reason I say more is because of how the timeline goes with not just this, but like everyone on the outside too, like with Clyde and Felicia. Like she was in the hospital with a broken leg, and then the next time we see her, her leg is completely healed. So it's got to be some time, months at least. So that's what I said.
Well, they're not even that. Remember when they were outside and she had the crutches at that point.
Yeah.
And then
we're not there
yet.
That's what I mean.
No, when they went to the church.
That's what I mean. That's why I mean that there's time. I think it's more time. You shut up.
We're still look. We're missing the parts
of this stupid balloon party.
All of a sudden, so they're just doing crazy stuff. They're sliding on tables and stuff, rolly tables, and then Suki, was it Suki?
No, it's Jane somehow ends up hanging from a chandelier.
No, she's on the table. He pushes her or whatever, and she just keeps going and going toward the indoor pool. And then it stops, and she somehow launches way far enough to get to the chandelier that's above this pool. Chandelier, whatever.
Chandelier's list.
She is literally swinging off the chandelier. Off the chandelier.
Yeah. Wow. You really cracked yourself up with that.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Okay.
But yeah, they do. And then they're like, oh my God. Like, it's just so fucking hilarious. And then they all start floating.
Yeah, because they're laughing. Oh, because she was still holding on, I think. And they start laughing and they start coming up off the ground. And then they're like, laugh, Jane, let go. And she let go. She started laughing. And then they're just floating. Something happened. When they stopped laughing, what happened?
That's when they fall. That's when they fall
into the pool. And then all of a sudden, now they get to the point, they're all in robes, sitting in, I don't know, like his den or something like that with TV.
I think, maybe? Oh, yeah. It's like a den.
And he's videoing them.
Yeah, he's got a tape recorder, taking a video, asking them questions about their fears, and they each give a specific answer.
Yeah.
Jane's like, or was it?
Well, Jane was like,
disappearing.
She doesn't want to get old.
Yeah.
That's what she's afraid. She's afraid to get old. Alex is afraid of snakes.
Yeah.
She was like, if there's going to be a bunch of snakes all over me, I'm going to disappear.
And Suki's afraid of pain.
She was like, I don't care about getting old. I don't even give a shit about snakes. But I don't want to be in no kind of pain, ever.
She was like, I'm not afraid of death, but I'm afraid of the pain. Yeah. Whatever.
He was like, excellent, yes.
Yeah. Literally keeping note of this.
Yeah.
And so...
So then this is when we get...
this is terrible. This kind of stuff you do, like, what's going to happen here? This kind of stuff you do when you're like, just in case you want to act crazy with me later.
Like, yeah, why are you giving him the contingency plan?
Yeah, too quick.
Because they don't know who he is.
Idiots. They're just too comfortable. That's why I think more time has passed, too. I'm not telling nobody my fears if I've only known you for like a week.
Look, Cher just had sex with him, like, within meeting him. So
she seems like she would do that, though.
My point is,
lonely for too
the
long.
Standards are not that high.
Her and Suki doesn't surprise me. Jane was the one.
Yeah.
But then
She's
they
the one who threw
did
herself
have
on
really
him.
hot cello thingy thing going there.
Wow. Anyway.
So now we get to the church scene.
This is when Felicia starts going, whore. Whore.
Yeah.
Whore.
While they're singing the songs,
he's like, you could just sit down and just stop calling people whores, please.
Yeah.
She's like, whores, murderers, rapists, incest. She just starts naming everything bad she could think of. Jaywalking.
Yeah, when she refers to that house, the Lennox house, and stuff like that, and what they're doing in there is ungodly, and it's the devil's work.
Like, that's how it starts.
Yeah, and she seems crazy, to be honest.
Well,
First of all, she's limping. She's got a broken leg.
She's got
Well, she's not crutching in there. She's literally like holding on to the pews, trying to keep her balance and stuff. So it does make her look crazy in her eyes. I think she does really good.
So her husband basically just carries her out of church.
She did the crazy thing pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
And he's
We've
like,
seen it in
what
action.
what has gotten into you? And then, she's like, I don't know.
Evil.
She warns about danger and about the man in the house and
evil.
And then she just tells him off.
And she crutches off.
Yeah.
She does crutch off.
She does. Yeah, it was nuts.
You can't storm off on crutches.
No, you cannot storm off on crutches. I was like,
I'm here to tell you.
No.
You cannot.
Pretty funny.
So where are we?
Jean teaches the class, and
She's dressed inappropriately. I just want to really throw that out there.
Well, she wasn't. She
had her crop top.
Yeah.
Her titties are hanging out because she ain't got no bra.
True.
And she's got her dress was a little bit see through.
No, but she had on leggings. She did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
well,
That dress was a little
let's say she had on a shirt or something that covered a little more modesty. You know, she
There are
just seemed
children
like the
present.
artsy. She just seems like the artsy teacher. If it wasn't for that, just
Well, like I said, I had a teacher like that. In Linda Vista. She was a crazy hippie lady. She was a redhead too, weird enough.
looked like Miss Frizzle.
Yeah, she did. She used to wear like headbands and stuff. She was like full
You know
blown
what?
hippie.
I had a teacher like that, Miss Goodvis. Very red.
That's not a real name.
It was, and she was very,
She was
very
making up-
redhead. I'm not.
Must be
kidding.
a redheaded thing.
And she was like that quintessential. She looked like that '70s hippie. No
I
joke.
think that might be a thing.
Why? That's what I'm thinking. That was the '70s, but
There's
still,
something to
she
it.
Yeah,
just
because
had that look.
it was the '90s, but she was. I remember she had us meditating in class, so she was on the desk with the legs
shut
crossed, all of that shit. I'm telling you, she was
Dang.
cray cray.
That's dope.
She was dope though.
I bet she wore like colorful robes.
Green was her color.
But the one I had, she was mean though. She was
Oh,
mean.
we didn't have
that's
no.
weird.
She wasn't
a
mean. She was
mean
great.
hippie looking. So she looked like a hippie, but she was a mean. You know what?
Really
Yeah,
interesting.
she was
Yeah,
weirdo. Wonder whatever happened to her.
well, she's probably dead.
Oh gosh. I mean,
Chances are.
Wow. She probably wasn't even as old as Grand Dude and Grandpa.
I don't know, Mom.
I'm just saying.
She's in the '70s. You weren't allowed to teach unless you were like 50 already. Those are just the rules. I don't make them up.
and if you were young, they chased you out.
They chase you right the fuck out. They're like, "What are you, 30? Get out of here!
Young beauty, think she can
Just come in here,
take all the googly eyes from the principal?
googly eyes." Where are we doing now? All right.
Jane teaches. She starts to teach her.
Oh
class
yeah, and they
without
sound horrible
notes.
as
She
usual.
takes the books away. She's like,
give me, just get rid of the music.
yeah. She starts making a mess. That pisses me off. I just hate when things are made a mess.
That is
for
the
no
second
reason.
time you've mentioned the mess. I'm starting to think you have an issue here.
It makes
You
me so
think?
mad. I hate unnecessary
look,
mess.
but not enough.
Like in movies, and you see like police people like search somebody's house or whatever.
Oh,
You
and
just
they're
be
like,
throwing stuff. I was
ransack-
like, you're not even searching.
That's really how it is in
They
real
do
life.
that in real
too.
life.
Yeah,
Like, you're not
do.
even searching.
But
You're just
they-
throwing shit on the ground.
that stuff pisses me off.
Let's kill him.
That's rude.
Just kill
Yeah,
them
it is. 'Cause you didn't have to do that.
Anyway, so they to get rid of the music, and suddenly they
played
like,
amazing.
They play like a symphony orchestra.
So amazing that when the principal walked in to be a little
It freaked
perv,
him out.
Yeah, he was like, and ran out.
all. Yeah. Fair enough.
Literally.
And then word gets around town that there's some whores doing whore stuff. So she's
Oh, yeah,
shopping,
she's in the grocery store.
dressed like a whore. And everyone is just like,
Walking like a whore. She's
Yeah.
all comfortable.
Eating pickles down the aisle. That's because she was pregnant.
Oh,
And she was getting all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, good catch. Okay.
yeah, they called her a whore. And then they were basically like, your money's no good here, whore. And then she gets ran out of the store. She leaves or whatever. They don't really, even because the store is like, well, we'll still take your money. But everybody else is just like, get out of here,
Yeah, no.
whore.
No, even the checker.
That's
the
what I mean.
checkout lady, she was just like, yeah.
Had an
so
attitude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it was like crazy.
Now cut to Suki. She's at the newspaper like, what the fuck is this? You know, she goes to Clyde and Clyde's
yeah.
like, oh, well, I had to change it. And she's like, oh, because you're.
I like how he was just
Felicia,
like,
huh?
everybody knows.
Yeah, she was just
She's like, I don't own the paper.
I have to do my job, and
And
yeah,
she-
you're
she's
fired.
like, she's like, oh, he's like, what am I trying to say here? She's like, I know, I'm fired. He's like, oh, yeah. He's a wuss. He just all the way
He
around.
doesn't want to be here.
Yeah, he
So the
doesn't.
girls go to talk to Daryl, and you know, they're having casual talks.
Well, Alex is like, we have to stop this because it's starting to ruin our
No,
lives.
it was Suzuki who said it.
Was it
Yeah.
Suki?
No, it was Alex. It
no,
was Alex
it was
who said
Suki who said it first because of
I
that,
think it
what
was.
that- what
I think it
happened.
was 'cause of the
After
job,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
And then Alex
and then
agreed.
Alex agreed, but it was
Jane was like,
Jane
fuck now. This is the best I've ever felt in a long time.
honestly,
Yeah, pissed.
yeah, she ain't got no kids. She's got a boring life.
Right? That's why it doesn't affect her as much. She just kind of doesn't give it. Like, because even like you said, like she changed everything about herself. Like she was walking, the way she's walking to the store, going to her classes and stuff like that. The rest of them wouldn't have done that because they're already who they are.
Right.
She was the
only one that was.
She had no identity.
She was just inward. She had nothing.
Yes.
And so she wasn't ready to give it up so quickly.
While they're eating these cherries, that he just had a whole huge bowl of cherries.
Yeah, he was like, hey, everyone just calm down and have a cherry, man.
Yeah, weird.
And they were like,
offer me something and I'm mad. I'm
they're
like,
eating
why?
the cherries and they're like, yeah, fuck Felicia, that stupid bitch. And they're eating cherries and spitting the pits out.
They all wish that she would go away.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And meanwhile,
while they're eating the cherries,
Felicia is...
She's starting to go through the whole thing.
She's doing all this weird shit. She's like, yo, this evil.
She's like, I feel it.
Yeah, she starts throwing up, and she's like,
at first she
just gets that one pit. Yeah,
she starts spitting out the pits, the cherry pits, and the stems and stuff as they're eating them. And then she started throwing up all this cherry stuff.
Like Exorcist style throwing up.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good effect.
Yeah,
and honestly, she made it look really good. And then she stopped, and she was still like, she's acting more crazy.
Got that. You know that thing.
Yeah. Oh God, never again. I promise. If you just get me through this.
She just got up. She's like, yes, I feel it in my stomach. The evil.
Then she starts doing like weird stuff because then she starts coming at him, and he's like, ah! He's like a goddamn monster. She's growling and stuff. She's like, you don't feel it, and he's like, you need to get the fuck away from me.
He's just trying to read his book. And
then he's like, what did he say to her before he clocked her?
He said, I think it's time to, what did he say? It's time to call it a night.
Oh, yeah. He said, let's call it a night. And then all of a sudden you heard clink. And you were like, and I was thinking the same thing. I was like, did he kill her? Do we know what happened?
I know.
But he went back to sit down and read that book like he didn't.
Yeah, he just crossed his legs. He was like, all right, I can chill for a little bit longer.
He went nuts too. That's what happened.
I think he was possessed. I think the whole point was that they possessed them both. Well, maybe not Felicia, but he did. I think they possessed him accidentally. I think he was. I don't think he would have done that unless.
No, and that's what Suki said. She was like, he would never do anything.
I think they did. I think inadvertently they did that to him.
Interesting.
That's what I think.
You're right.
Because I don't think they know what they've been doing as a whole.
No.
Even like they just brush off the floating and the fucking magic ball and all that shit. And then they're spitting out cherries and they're hating on this whole people and they're like, yeah, fuck him.
Maybe they think all this is a dream, but it's a good one. So it's like, why not keep going?
Yeah, until it's not.
Yeah, and then when they go over there and they see everybody, the police and ambulance all over at their house. And then they start, arguing with each other right there about, the whole thing and what they've been doing. And they're arguing and then they start
as they're yelling at each other. The earthquake starts.
Them. Yeah. And then
the way they run away from it though is fucking hilarious. Because they're like, like a bunch of cartoon characters. And I was like,
don't lie, that be me too. I'm like,
the way they split off in different directions and shit, it was so fucking hilarious. Oh god.
Yeah. All for yourselves.
Yeah, they were like freak. That it was like it took a while for them to get freaked out. It had to be
right.
They were
that
so
was
mad
the
they
one
probably
that
didn't feel it. They're over here yelling at each other.
No. I'm saying it took them a while for all of these things that were happening for them to finally say, okay, now this shit is getting freaky.
It took too long. Yeah. It got a little too weird immediately.
No, and it wasn't until then I think
was weird.
When that happened, because it's death. That's what it was, because that's what they even said to him. Somebody died.
Yeah.
That's what, and he's like, oh, well, okay.
He was like, hey,
people die.
People die all the time, man.
Which was terrible.
People die every day.
They stayed away from him, and he was, losing his mind.
Alex gets a call from him, Daryl, eventually.
Well, first he asked Lurch. I don't know what his name is in here. I forgot. Fidel.
Yeah.
Fidel.
He does call him that.
Yeah.
Wow.
He asked him if anybody called, and nobody. He said, just shook his head.
He didn't say anything.
Yeah, he shook his head.
I wonder how much he made not saying anything.
A lot.
Not as much as he would have when he talked, but still. But so he's like, no, realized nobody called. So finally he calls Alex, and she answers, and he's like, why don't you just come over here or whatever? And she's like, no, I can't. We can't. And he's like, why? And he's getting upset, and then I think she hung up on him.
Yeah, he's like, this isn't fair.
Yeah, and then she hung up, and then
seems fair.
He stops by Suki's house.
He stopped. Yeah.
And she refuses to let him in. Let's mention, she's got some weird herp looking thing on her lip.
Yeah, she's got the herp.
She's definitely got the herp.
She's got the herp like a mug. I don't know what the fuck that.
And it was
they never explained it. Yeah,
and I'm like, what was going on there? Was it that maybe that she was having a? Yeah, maybe she was. Maybe that happens to her when she gets pregnant. I don't know. It was just like weird. That was
all I know is
weird.
She legitimately had the herp, and it was unsettling. It was unsettling as fuck.
And then he starts by Jane's, and he leaves.
She wasn't there.
He leaves literal notes, music notes.
Yeah. And then, then you cut to Jane and finds out she's pregnant.
She's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, so she's all happy and stuff. So she decides to go over there and surprise him. And then Fidel, lets her in. And she's like, shh, I want to surprise him. And then goes in there and sees him watching the video of them.
Confessing their fears.
Yeah, confessing their fears. And when it comes to hers about that, all of a sudden her hand gets all old and like decrepit looking, and then she touches her face. She can't see herself, but I guess they have to show us that she looks old in that moment. And then she decides to run off, and then waits till he doesn't notice that she's in there, and then that's when she goes to the girls. And they go to
Alex.
Well, no, everybody has something. And Alex is in the bed.
A pile of snakes.
Oh my gosh!
And then Suki, she starts just feeling pain.
Oh, and it was real pain, and she was bleeding. She was hemorrhaging. She was hemorrhaging.
And then Alex goes to confront Daryl, and Suki gets better. She talks sweet to him, and Suki's not suffering anymore. Then they all go to Daryl's and seduce him.
Right.
And they're all in their little sexy outfits, lingeries, and things like that.
Well, because they have a plan.
Yes.
Then I assume they do the grown up. And then
they're definitely groaning it up.
He goes off for food with Lurch.
To get ice cream and bagels. Yeah.
Nobody's in town because it's Sunday. Everybody's in church except them.
Yeah, that's the town.
They run and go get a book while he's gone. The book that I don't remember him talking about it earlier in the movie, but I'm assuming that they brought it up before because they knew exactly.
Well, he says it. He does mention it. I forgot what it's called. It's something weird Latin word or something like that. But he does mention it. I didn't know it was a book he was talking about. But he does mention it because that's what it is.
I know there's a lot of points like when he's talking to the girls and seducing them and stuff that he was saying a lot of words.
A lot of stuff. That's why I was saying you got to listen.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson's
got to pay attention.
Yeah, so they get that book,
and get that, and then Cher quickly sculpts out a little
candle. They melted candle in a pot, and she sculpted it into a
character of him. Basically,
Suki's reading all the directions of this spell, and they're doing spell stuff.
Yeah,
suddenly like they clicks, and then they know all this witch stuff.
Well, they've been reading,
Well, at least they read.
At least they read, and at that point,
I guess. And then they blow feathers and stuff on the doll,
and they come out of his mouth. Yeah. They're just coming out of nowhere.
Blew him into church.
Yeah,
and they start sticking the pins in him.
Oh, yeah.
And in his hand.
They're eating cherries. And he starts throwing up in the church all over the place.
Oh, the cherries. He's like, the cherry trick? I taught you that.
That's when he starts talking about, women.
Did God make a mistake?
Did he make a mistake, or did he do it to us on purpose? That's always been my favorite.
Because he's just like, if he made a mistake, you can forgive that. Hey, mistakes happen all the time.
Nature. He calls that Mother Nature, but when nobody bats an eye or something like that.
Yeah, he goes on one.
Yeah, basically.
The answer is he did do it on purpose.
So he's
Woman
on his
bashing.
way back. He decides to take the car, leaves Lurch there, and just drives off.
I know he was like, he had the back. He's like, yo, what the fuck?
You know, he has all the stuff in his hands. And so,
then they jacking him up as he's driving over there. He getting tossed out the car.
He didn't have the seatbelt on, and that's why he got tossed out the
Yeah,
car.
it wasn't a law then.
Wear a seatbelt.
There were seatbelts, but it wasn't the law.
Yeah, they're doing all kinds of shit. They're putting crazy spells on this guy.
Yeah,
And
they
then
jacking him up.
they realize he's on his way. The girls try to clean up real quick. And he gets back home and he's getting crazy. He's stomping towards them. And at first they're trying to act
He's
like,
growling and shit.
Nothing's happening.
Because now he's full blown fucking demon mode where he's just like,
And they're just like, okay, shit, he's serious.
all right, he's serious. This is real. This is real.
They're like, get the doll, get the doll. They run to the kitchen and try and get the voodoo doll. And it breaks. And he turns into a giant demon monster.
I don't know what the fuck this thing is, but it's some of the
weird
worst
looking.
CGI I've ever seen, and it looks ridiculous. He's got this long ass neck. His head is all Jack Nicholson, and he's got a
it was
hunchback. Like
Creepy.
that's all. I was like,
Weird.
it's an interesting take on the devil. I guess I've never
Yeah.
seen that one.
Yikes.
That's new.
Yeah.
And the candle voodoo thing burns in the fire, and
Then he burns.
Just dies. He kind of just goes
Goes into
out
a
of
little thing and then
out of
just,
existence.
Yeah,
and then gone.
and then boom, they got kids. In the
18
future.
months later.
They
All the girls were
got-
pregnant.
Yeah, they were all pregnant, and
That
they
was
all
the-
had a little. But that's what she said.
That
That's
was the
what
plan.
Felicia said. He's gonna impregnate them so they can give him sons.
Oh, that's what
She
she
does.
was saying.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
She wasn't crazy, but she sounded crazy.
She wasn't crazy, but she was crazy.
Yeah.
But now she dead.
So now they got one brunette kid, one blonde
I
kid,
mean,
one
how
red
lucky
kid.
is that? Well, we knew that Michelle Pfeiffer was gonna have some blonde kids
Because she already had the.
She already got the blonde kids.
A brunette, a blonde, and a
redhead.
redhead have a baby by the same demon. No,
Okay.
And the blonde says
you're
potato.
Still terrible at jokes. Just want you to know.
Whatever.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
whatever. It sets itself up.
Oh, does
Well,
it?
you got to finish it.
No, that's the joke.
Yeah, see, there's the problem right there. So then they show
They live
the
in this mansion.
little boys. Yeah, they are in the mansion.
I still want to know the logistics of that. Like, how did they just, that house was sold at some point?
They
So when
suddenly
the
got the
owner
deed?
just disappears, do they get the deed or what's the deal here?
I guess it doesn't matter. He probably paid cash. He probably
Yeah,
done it.
but who, somebody, I don't know.
No
man.
explanation needed.
I feel like there's just got to be things.
Anyway, the little boys are in their little walkers, and then they go
Cute
toward
little
the
walkers,
little
too.
thing, the little den.
TV room.
Yeah, TV room, which is just a bunch of TVs all stacked on top of each other. And then all of a sudden on the screen you start seeing Jack Nicholson pop up. He's like, oh, yeah, that's right. Come to daddy. Whatever. And then all of a sudden he's talking to them and he looks up. He's like, no, girls. And then they got that big, huge. Did you see that
That
remote?
remote is fucking ginormous, man. God.
That was
damn.
remotes that back then.
when you hear
Right.
the TV turn off. Pew.
The sound, because you hear go,
Yeah. No, them things were clunky too, the buttons and
Yeah,
everything.
damn, man.
That was remotes
Jesus.
back in the day.
That's
you could
ugly.
hurt somebody with a remote back in the day.
That was literally it in the
Yeah,
movie.
that
After
was-
they turned the TV off, it was it.
That
Yeah, it was
that
it.
was the end.
You don't know
That
what
was-
happens next. They just all grow up in the mansion.
I still- that's
These
what I said.
kids
I
turn into demons. Or?
I kind of want to read this book.
Demon witch kids would like it's a whole thing.
Well,
Yeah.
they
I'm
exist.
sure they it goes much more in depth.
And then there was a
book.
TV show in 2009.
I can
called
only
Eastwick.
imagine.
They're called Eastwick. Yeah,
I do
up.
remember that now. I didn't. I remember.
I don't think
it.
I didn't. I
didn't
would have
I'm
never.
biased.
I didn't even remotely make
it
the
on
correlation.
CW?
It sounds like it might have been.
I think it was,
but I don't know. I really didn't see it. I definitely didn't see it.
No, I didn't see it.
curious now.
I was like, I just want to know what channel it was on.
I'm sure we could follow. I'm sure we could stream a couple episodes, see what it was like,
see.
just to fuck around.
All right, we're done with this.
You're like, yeah, nope, I'm good.
It says American comedy drama. It was one season.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
That's
make
it. It was. What was it? Looks. I mean, this certainly looks like a CW. Thing.
Yeah, this is like with teenagers in it. Yeah,
yeah. This
or
is
young adults.
Oh, look. Yep. There they go. The
Yeah, that's
brunette.
definitely that's yeah. That looks
Yeah.
like because was it it was a CW by
Yeah.
then. It was.
Yeah. That's 2009. They had
Otherwise,
the
it would have been the WB.
yeah.
All right.
Say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
All right.
So, you guys go first.
Oh, okay, I'll go. So what I think of this movie? Let's just say this. I was very confused throughout.
A good portion of it.
But it did intrigue me. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 6. No, 5. Give it a 5.
Damn.
Oh, no, it was on ABC. Wow.
That's even worse, honestly.
Wow.
I believe it.
Prime time? No way, right?
Yeah. No, it was definitely prime time. Yeah.
They got a lot of failed shows. And then they got
That's
some
true.
shows that lasted way
That's
longer
true.
than I think they should have.
Yeah.
And since that mouse got a hold of them, they just really been having some crazy stuff.
That mouse.
That was a wow.
All right, so this is my second time seeing this movie. I still enjoy it. I think it's fun. I think Jack Nicholson is prime Jack Nicholson in this shit.
Yeah.
And Cher's fine as hell, so that's always a plus for me. Michelle Pfeiffer's eyes really doing it. But this movie was fun. This movie had a lot of good moments, some real good dialogue, and so I'll give it like a 7. I give it a 7.
Okay.
So this was my pick, and I haven't seen it in a long time, but I did always like it. It was an enjoyable movie because it's just, it's not typical horror, but it has some components in it that gives you a little thrill, I guess. But I really love Jack Nicholson, of course, and I just thought it was great with that cast. They had a great chemistry. I think that it definitely worked, and that crazy ass lady, especially, she
played the crazy.
She played that role, man.
Really
I
crazy.
believed her big time.
She's probably really crazy.
She's been in other things that
people
she's been
think.
kind
She's
of
been acting for a real long time.
She kind of.
I looked up her. She was in Eastwick.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
but I said she was
Wow.
in Eastwick.
But
That's fucking stupid.
So I mean, I'm gonna say I'll go. I think in certain areas it doesn't hold up, and I think one of those ones like we talk about the tennis scene, for instance, it was just kind of
Transitioning.
Yeah. It wasn't clunky like what was that we watched when I said it was just horror? Oh, that was 13 Ghosts, where there was no transition. It was just like they were just throwing you to different things, but it was just not the transitioning, but just the way to make it seem like it made sense, and that was like okay. And then they weren't reacting.
Yeah, no one was
things.
reacting.
They didn't get those.
Well, that was like early.
first
The
reactions.
CGI was bad. They were looking at nothing, trying to act on nothing.
But they weren't, but still not even reacting to the idea of something
definitely
happening, that would be weird in most cases. So there's that. But that was 80s. I mean, if you watch movies in the 80s, that's what it is. So for me, I give it a 7. I still enjoyed it, and Jack Nicholson always is a good time. Always.
All right.
Nice.
And on that note, next month we're going to try to get to a lot of the shit that we missed. So if you haven't paid attention, there have been gaps in some of these episodes.
Like the last one we didn't watch.
That's your fucking fault. It's all your fault.
It is actually.
Yeah, you jerk. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna try to get to. We already have 4 out of the at least 6. I think that I was able to remember.
Yeah.
That we did. So we got 4 out of those, and we're gonna bring them to you. So I'm not gonna tell you what it is because we can't make these promises like that.
Yeah. Just know this is going to be a mishmash of surprise of movies that we didn't get to in other months. Yep. And
so November is movies we month miss. We will tell you what month it was.
Movies we month miss.
Movie we miss month. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be an interesting themeless theme, if you will.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it because some of these I really want to do.
Yeah.
All right.
It'll be fun.
All right.
Well, all right.
All right. So,
it's been done.
Yay, Yagahoo. Until you guys give me a better catchphrase, I'm just going to use that one for the weekenders.
I don't think that's
Peculiar
it.
Purple Pine Man.
From Porcupine Peak. No.
Oh yeah, Peculiar Purple Pine Man from Porcupine
Peak.
Peak. Dang, I can't even say that.
That's what
Porcupine Man.
That's why it was such a thing to say. Peculiar
Peculiar Purple Pie Man from Porcupine Peak.
Oh, you think you're cool because you said it that one time? Say it 2 times.
No, why?
Yeah, because you're not gonna be able to say it.
Well, I don't want to say it.
Peculiar Purple Pie Man from Porcupine Peak. Ooh, I said that.
Oh,
I said that.
peculiar porcupine. Peculiar Purple Pie Man for Porcupine Peak. I did it.
Took a lot.
I did. That was hard.
Yeah. All right. So,
Yeah.
deuces.
Latest.